Louie T. Welcome to the command post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. Now, of course, I'm your commander-in-chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. I'm here on a Saturday dealing with some Saturday chicanery. So, a wise woman once told me, stay above the fray and out of the way. That's usually what I tend to do, okay? So, to my surprise, yesterday I'm doing the LouieTeeNetwork podcast. For those of you who didn't check it out, episode 321 is up. It was a great episode. Give it a look-see, right? So, we're chopping it up as we usually do on the podcast, and my guy, Red Wings 01, hits me up, and he's like, hey, what do you think about the Dyami Brown trade rumors? And I'm like, what rumors? What Dyami Brown trade rumors? This is news to me. I told him very specifically, however, and I tell you guys this every year, this time of the year, okay? A lot of bored people out there, okay? A lot of people trying to send you in different directions. Be very, very careful of what you take in, okay? And what you spit out, okay? There's nothing wrong with internalizing things, but when you start to believe it or you start to talk about it with other people, you give it life. You breathe life into it. I told you this is lying season. This is a lying season alert, okay? Dyami Brown being traded. And I told him, I said, it's lying season. I don't know anything about what you're referring to, but I will go and do some homework. I'll go digging. I'll see what I find. You will hear from me about it. It's lying season. I don't really have anything else to add other than it's exactly what I've tried to warn you guys about. Believe half of what you see, none of what you hear, even if it's spat by me, your man Louie T. You know what it is. It's lying season. Okay? And so when I hear Dyami Brown potentially being traded, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Here it is. Sam Howell getting an opportunity to be the starting quarterback. If he's not his best friend, he's one of his very good friends. He's definitely his best friend on the team. But these two went to college together, and when Sam Howell was drafted by Washington, Dyami Brown said he cried. Okay? One of the first people Sam Howell said he reached out to was Dyami Brown when he got drafted. They're really good friends. We saw a clip of them just the other day working out together, which makes a ton of sense. All right? There's a rapport there. Now, we don't know how good of a rapport that will be at this level, but we know what it was at UNC, okay? At the end of the day, if you're Washington, you would be remiss if you didn't at least explore what that chemistry may be, okay? At least give it an opportunity to see if there's something there. Dyami's got 2 more years left on his rookie deal. There's no rush to, get rid of him. And now with his best buddy, a guy that he had, great chemistry with at Chapel Hill, is now potentially going to be the starter this year. This would be the year that you would really want to give him an opportunity. And with the change in philosophy, I told you guys, the offense that the Chiefs run, West Coast offense, it's a variation of it. A lot of quick passes, a lot of slants, a lot of bubble screens, a lot of things underneath, getting the ball out of the hand of the quarterback and into the hands of playmakers, like Dyami Brown. With that said, does it make a ton of sense to move on from a guy that has the potential to be a dynamic playmaker in the role that he's in as the 4th option at receiver? I feel like when we talk about the depth of this group and how we feel about the receiver position, Dyami Brown is included in that discussion. For some of you, maybe he's not. But after the Titans game last year, and I told you there were some big catches Dyami Brown made. Don't discount the catch before the half against Philadelphia that led to a field goal. That 5 or 6 yard bomb that Joey Sly kicked doesn't happen if Dyami Brown doesn't go dig one out of the turf and allow us to call that last time out for Joey Sly to come on the field and kick that field goal. And that gave us a ton of momentum heading into the halftime break. It was at that moment when he made that catch and then Sly subsequently bangs home the 54, 5 or 6 yard field goal, however long it was, 58. It was at that point where I said, let's go beat these bastards on Monday night. That catch on the very first drive of the Falcons game, it was wet, it was raining. This guy makes a one-handed stab on a third down after the Atlanta Falcons went down and scored on their first drive of the game. We needed to answer if Dyami Brown doesn't make a spectacular catch in the rain. We're not scoring a touchdown on that first drive to set the tone for that game. That was the Brian Robinson catch out in the flats, run over a defender, and stretch the ball over the plane for the touchdown. That's set up by Dyami Brown's third down catch. And we all know what he did in the Titans game. 3 catches, 101 yards, I think it was. 2 touchdowns. He was fantastic. Or was it 2 catches for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns? Whatever it was, he was spectacular. He was the only offense. We only scored 2 touchdowns in that Titans game. We only scored 17 points. The only 2 touchdowns were Dyami Brown. He's shown enough here in his few opportunities last year that he should be a part of this group. And moving on from him with 2 years left on his rookie deal, when the best opportunity he's going to have to succeed is Sam Howell, more likely than not, along with new play calling that's going to give him more opportunities to be on the football field, which is what we expect with Eric Bieniemy in town. This is his best opportunity to prove that he belongs. Why would you trade him now? There's no value in trading Dyami Brown right now, which is why that didn't make any sense. When Red Wings told me this, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And I was thinking for some strange, odd reason that this was going into his final year of his deal, year 4 of Dyami. This is only year 3 of Dyami. So there's 2 years left on that rookie deal. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But just in case you don't believe me that it's lying season, and I told Red Wings in the moment, and I hadn't done any research at that point. I said, look, dude, it's lying season, man. Okay, you know what this is. But again, I had to go do my due diligence because you just never know. You just never know. But I said, that doesn't really jive with what's going on. If we really were looking to shop Dyami Brown, we would have heard about this at the Combine. That's when these types of deals and these things start to really come to fruition and gain steam. That's how the number 1 overall pick got traded, in the draft. They talked at the Combine. We heard that thing was gaining steam, and then a week later, we got the trade. If Dyami Brown was really being shopped around, we would have heard about it probably closer to the Combine than closer to the draft. In any event, let's take a look at some things that have been said to debunk this myth out here of Dyami Brown potentially being traded. So the first thing I had to do was let's check the pulse of the beat writers who have the pulse of the team, right? Let's see what these beat writers are saying. Go straight to John Keim, and he says, emphatically, no. Dyami Brown fits in a system that will probably use more slants and quick game. Feeling is it meshes well with his skills. I just talked about that. I've talked about it in the past when I told you what Eric Bieniemy said he was going to bring here. West Coast offense. I said, well, you guys know what that means. And I started to give you examples of what that looks like. Talked about, the origins of the West Coast offense and what they did in San Francisco with Bill Walsh and, Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Roger Craig and Tom Rathman and Brent Jones and all of those guys. And you understand what Kansas City was able to do with their offense. And Ron said a lot of what they do, we can do. We have the playmakers. So Dyami Brown is one of those playmakers. Believe it or not, he's one of those playmakers. So, and again, I look around the league, and I can't say this with 100% certainty, okay? Don't know what everyone's receiving room looks like. The Jets are building a pretty damn good one right now, but I don't know if there's a more talented number 4 wide receiver on most teams in the NFL than Dyami Brown. You're in a pretty good spot, and this is where we wanted to be. This is where we wanted to get to, okay? When an injury or two wouldn't put you in a situation where you've got nothing in the cupboards bare. That's where we are. We lost Jahan Dotson last year, and yes, him not being on the field hurts. We won football games without Jahan Dotson last year, and the offense kept on moving. It wasn't great, and even when Dotson was in the lineup, the offense wasn't great. And a lot of that stems from the offensive line, quarterback play, et cetera, et cetera. But we still were able to produce. We didn't fall off a cliff. Teams couldn't just key in on Terry because you still have other guys that can contribute. He got hurt in the Dallas game, did Jahan Dotson. That's what, week 4? The next week, Dyami Brown has 2 catches for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what we can do because we have depth, and Dyami Brown is a part of that depth. So, Khan's been told emphatically no. Let's take it a step further and go to Sports Illustrated and SI, okay? And let's see what they have to say. So, they said, did the reporter get it wrong? All right. Did the source get it wrong, essentially? That we don't know, right? We don't know what the person that started this rumor was told, right? But an NFL source tells Commander Country at SI that there's no truth to the rumor about Dyami Brown being shopped. Logically, the Commanders, to give up on Brown, who came to Washington in 2021 as a 3rd rounder out of North Carolina, would represent selling low. Again, there's not a ton of value for Dyami Brown right now. You're not going to fetch a ton back. This is not a great wide receiver draft. Why would you be looking to move him, get a draft pick, and then try to replace him with a guy that may not be better than him? Doesn't make a ton of sense. You're not getting a 3rd round pick back for him. And maybe that's enough reason for Washington not to be dangling him in this trade at this time. And then they went on to talk about, and let's just take a look. Additionally, he has a connection with fellow UNC product Sam Howell, which we all know and I just talked about already. The 2nd-year quarterback projected to be Washington's starter. It would make sense for the Commanders and new offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy to want to explore their chemistry before giving up on a cheap rookie contract, especially with how, as the quarterback, Brown had 2,000-yard receiving seasons and 20 touchdowns and with over 50 catches in each season with the Tar Heels. So, again, there is a chemistry that has been established between those two. Why would you look to break that up at this current juncture? If nothing else, Dyami Brown serves as a security and safety blanket for Sam Howell. Even if he's not on the field, just a guy that he can talk ball with, talk about, practice, talk about the game. This is a guy that he can confide in. Why would you want to rock that boat? It just doesn't make any sense. And again, Dyami's on a rookie contract. So, it's LYIN season, everybody. Okay, I'm sounding the LYIN season alarm. Okay, there's nothing to see here. All right. No need to get all caught up in this. Like I said, this time of the year, and it'll be even worse after the draft, but this time of the year, there's not much to talk about but the draft. And in Washington's case, if you're not talking about new ownership, there's really not anything juicy to discuss. So this is what you do when you have nothing. You make stuff up. You make stuff up. So again, be careful. Believe half of what you see, none of what you hear, even if it's spat by me, your man, Louie T. It's LYIN season, folks. You know what it is. Anyway, I digress. Just wanted to come, put that to rest. I hadn't heard about it until yesterday, till it was brought to my attention. Again, wise woman told me, stay above the fray and out of the way. That's what I try to do. But it seems like trouble loves to find us, okay? We are doing nothing wrong, just minding our business, and somehow rumors find us. We're used to this, but I just needed to put this down nice and easy. Take this out back, pop, pop, 2 shots to the head. Now you know this rumor dead. On to the next, on to the next one. And so, with that said, you guys, enjoy your weekend. Rumor free, okay? Dyami's not going anywhere, okay? Okay, he's going to be here as he should. You guys enjoy. the festivities. I will see you guys on the other side of this weekend. You know what it is. Post up and take command. Until next time, you guys have a good one. God bless and take care.
LouieTeeNetwork.